It was all fake. Because what if I told you the crowds you see screaming on television are not angry voters at all? They're rented, they're paid, and scheduled like a casting call. In Washington, D.C. right now, while order is being restored and crime policies are shifting, the so-called resistance is suddenly exploding in size. And the numbers, they don't lie. A company that literally supplies people for protests says requests have jumped 400%. And the timing is not an accident. So this raises a question for the Republic. Are Americans watching real opposition or manufactured performance designed for the cameras? I want you guys to tell me in the comments, do you believe these protests are real voices or just paid protesters? I think I know what the answer is going to be, but let's see what you guys have to say. Because once you see how this works, you cannot unsee it. And it changes everything going forward. Let's get into it. My name is Tom. I'm with the Daily Beltway, and I'm also a White House correspondent for the Next News Network. And what you're about to hear comes directly from the people who supply crowds for political demonstrations. Not from activists, not from social media, but from the business side of protests. But before we continue, we're a growing channel, and every like, comment, share, and subscription helps us reach more Americans, especially when stories like this are quietly ignored everywhere else. Also, sharing this report matters because it cuts through the manufactured narratives and puts facts back into the public square. I want you guys to check this out. Fox News interview, owner of Crowds on Demand, revealed requests for paid demonstrators went up 400%. Watch.
Lawrence, it's a pleasure to be with you this morning.
Well, it's great to have you. I'm really intrigued with your business model. So, for example, how much are you paying these protesters in Washington, D.C.?
Well, when protesters, we don't comment on specific protests, but generally the range can be from the low hundreds, the low 100s, into a few hundred. It really depends on the location, the duration, and any challenges that, for example, cold weather or early morning. You guys at Fox and Friends know all about getting up early in the morning. We tend to pay people more in that. Obviously, everything Crowds on Demand does is peaceful and law-abiding protest. There's a law.
So if you do that 5 days a week at $100 per 4-hour shift or whatever, you're making $30,000 a year. So if you do that for an 8-hour shift, 5 days a week, you're making $60,000 a year to protest the Trump administration and wave a sign. That's pretty crazy. So participants are compensated, signs are coordinated like we saw after the Maduro regime fell, and messaging is pre-planned. It's not spontaneous civic engagement, it's logistics. The timing lines up exactly with policy enforcement that disrupts long-standing political interests. So here's the questions that America should be asking. If the policies were truly unpopular, why is there a sudden need to pay for opposition? I want you guys to let me know in the comments. I want you to type real voices if you believe protests should be organic, or rented rage if you think this is all staged theater.